Hello everyone, welcome to the music panel hosted by the DBM, me, Sam Brony, Agate Music, and MC Arch.
Yeah.
Yeah, today we are here to have a sort of Q&A for you. So it's with different artists this time, and we're going to answer questions of a list that I've made up just today. But we also are able to actually answer one of your questions. But it's not actually just the DBM answering your questions. We also have all the other musicians who will answer your questions. So if you please can come on stage. Applause.
Yeah.
Pick a seat. They actually discussed an order. I didn't. No, there should be 8 chairs, so everyone has at least a seat. Yeah. Otherwise, I just go and sit on this side. Wow.
Awesome.
Okay, so I'm just going to pick it really short, but I've got a few questions on the list, as I just said. But let's just first start with the artist actually introducing themselves, because I could have done it instead, but because I could. But they are actually better at sort of introducing themselves. So I think we're just going to start from Blackens until we get to me.
Okay, I'm Black and Blue and I make heavy metal music. That's basically all there is to it.
I am Prince Whatever. I also do that thing that he said.
I am Deus and I am usually just a person who plays instruments. I don't actually do music yet.
Okay, hey, what up, everyone? It's your boy, Living Tombstone. How's everybody doing tonight? No, it's MC Arch. I'm happy to be back at PonyCon Holland, man. Let's go. I love you too.
I'm 12. Might have not seen me yesterday because canceled my set because not enough time. But yeah, I'm 12. I'm making chill music mainly, like drum and bass and lo-fi, but getting more and more stuff. And yeah.
Hi, I'm Black Eyes Music, and I produce electronic music, mostly Melbourne bounce and future bounce, which is basically dance music. So yeah.
We got a mic.
Hello everyone, my name is Agate Music and I'm a singer and songwriter, and I'm mostly known for collabing with MC Arch and with other musicians with other music styles, with all sorts of styles.
Yeah, well, and I just introduced myself a bit. I'm Sam Brony. I produce music, film, and animation. I've done some animation work for this convention too. I made the GIF at the intro with, if you can't remember, the show will start soon thing. But I also came to this convention to perform music once again. I mainly produce drum and bass and dubstep music nowadays. But yeah, that's what I'm currently doing these days. So, okay, we're going to start with the first question. As you know, we are all musicians sitting here, but maybe it's interesting to start with the question on how they actually got started in the music scene. So, Blackened, to start with you.
All right. So basically, I started off just inspired by people I liked in the music industry. I initially started off as an electronic musician all the way back in 2011. None of that's online anymore. It was kind of rubbish. Then I picked up a guitar. I started making music. I've been using this alias since 2014. I started off a bit heavier with some rubbish production style, but eventually I honed my style. And I like to think that in 2018, that's when I started getting noticed. So it's just been a great experience ever since. I never thought I'd be doing this 5 years ago.
Hi, yeah, I'm Prince Whatever. How do I start? Wow, that's a big question. I don't know. I've been in bands before the fandom. I was in bands locally in my area from 2009 till 2011. And then I just made my own music about ponies because I enjoyed it more, and that's what I've been doing ever since. And it's always been pop punk, metal stuff. And I hope you like it.
I do. For me, it was more, I started with playing bass as a hobby. Like, I also teach reached myself doing this 2 years ago, and through some circumstances and a bit of dedication, I started out in playing in a local band and also with AJ from time to time.
Yeah. The reason I started, well, long story short, I lost a bet. No, no, no. The reason the reason I started is, well, you know, I've always been like a fan of hip hop. You know, like talking fast and such. You know, being able to tell stories. You know, that really speaks to me. At some point, I was like just listening to music, you know, just doing my stuff, and suddenly I heard this video of like a cute pony saying, "Hey, oh, okay, that's pretty cute." Before I knew it, you know the story. Like you watch one episode and you end up like 5 a.m. in the morning, completed the first season. So I figured that like, you know, I can't be the only guy who enjoys this stuff, right? So I'll start googling some stuff. I should not have Googled. And yeah, eventually I came along with the Bronies, and I thought, you know what, My Little Pony is cool, hip hop is cool. Yeah, perfect. Yes. What could go wrong? So yeah, that's how it began. That's yeah.
For me, I remember I was like on social media. It was a while ago, a while ago. It was in 2018, but and there was a girl who like talked to me about music, and she said, "Do you know lo-fi?" And I was like, "What is lo-fi?" And she showed me what it is, and I was so in love with it that I started to listen to it too much, and I said, "Okay, this sounds actually easy to make." And I started to make lo-fi, and then I was that kind of little emo, being like, "Oh, pony is cool because it's unicorns and and rainbows, but I'm dark inside." AJ know what I'm talking about. And I started to like think about like watching the show for real and not just posting a poster of Rainbow Dash in my room just because it's funny. So I started to watch the show and discovered pony artists and stuff in 2019. And yeah, I just grew up very fast after that and did collabs with a lot of people. And yeah, that's how I started.
For me, it started in 2012, 2013, when Martin Garrix was bringing out his like his hit tracks, like Animals and stuff. And I was like really into Big Room back then, so that's kind of what defined my style now still. But I didn't start producing until 2014 when I saw I think a Ponyville FM interview with Wooden Toaster, and he described how he makes his music, and it's actually pretty easy for a normal person to get started, and you just need to download one program and you're pretty much set and you can do stuff. And yeah, so from there I basically started very, very simple stuff because I didn't have any knowledge of music at first, and I learned everything from teaching myself because back then there weren't a lot of YouTube tutorials still. So now you have a lot more sources, but yeah.
Well, first of all, I lost a bet to that guy over there. No, for me it's pretty easy. I started basically around 2017 when I start covering stuff of the songs first of all. Then I didn't start with original MLP music just yet, but that changed in 2018 when I was on Everfree Northwest and spoke one of the organizers of A Pony's Head On. Massive shout out to them, named John Kenza. I worked with them on a song was one of my all-time classic and one of my favorites, and that's how I through that song I actually broke through and was able now to go perform at multiple conventions, was able to collab a few of these guys here in the line, still in the hope in the future some other guys too. And that's how it's ever been since, and it has been a great experience so far, and I hope I can continue doing it.
And well, what made me start making music? Music has been there all my life. I literally loved it every second. It was in 2014 that I watched some YouTube tutorials how house music and hardstyle music was made in FL Studio. and since then I have been using it until now. I have had a lot of genre switches because I usually made house music until in 2018, 19. I got a bit more into dubstep drum and bass music. And that's also because my best friend actually got me a bit more in the drum and bass scene. But yeah, this started. I lost. Maybe starting music. It's actually not a very big story. It's just that music has been there all my life, and that I discovered those tutorials with actually music making software. That's sort of how it went. Okay, so some of the artists actually already mentioned something about MLP and what made it happen. My next question was, what is it that you love about MLP and its music?
Basically, I love the show. I love how it's like, I love everything about it. Basically, the music is especially fantastic. Daniel Ingram did a great job, but I also love the community and its music. Like, there's so much out there. It's unbelievable. If you know what Horse Music Herald is, then that's where you can find a lot of the good stuff. There's so much more out there than just Living Tombstone and all that.
Yeah, I just love the show. I thought it was great. It had good morals, had great songs. Looked up some stuff like, like you said, Tombstone, Glaze, and it's like, oh, I want to try making music, and that's what I've been doing ever since.
I like the meme of the show. And this is how I got introduced to it. And also the music is really catchy. Like Bracken said, Daniel Ingram is like really good at what he's doing. Also the music that comes out of the fandom and the people that I met along the way. It's like the whole Blown-as experience.
I gotta get used to it too, I know. No, what I love about the show and such, you know, and just everything, you know. If I'm gonna talk about, it's gonna be evolved text, but I'll just put it with this. I learned more regarding social development and, you know, making friends and being together from this show and 6 colored pastel ponies than actually from school or something, or like from work, you know. Like it's there's a reason I say that you are the beautiful world I believe in, man. It's I love you guys, man. It's just I love the creativity, like you know, like we wow, you know, I can't put it into words how much I love you. Just yeah, I do. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, mainly the music part of the fandom. It's what it got me in the fandom mainly, and it's also the thing I love the most from it. Like there is so much good artists, so much good, even in the okay, no, not the music part, but most of like the creative part of the fandom. Like there's so much good artists in drawing and music that needs to like get more recognition, yeah, French speaking. Like there's so much good people and not known that needs to be more known. I'm repeating myself. Wow. And also like the people here in the fandom are like so nice to each other mainly, of course. But like I always have the thing like when I was starting, I was like Prince is like the most amazing musician in the fandom. How am I supposed to like get a collab with him? How is it possible to talk to him? And I just sent him a message on Discord, and he's super nice. It's like that's resume the fandom, in my opinion. Like everyone is nice to each other, except some people, of course. But yeah, that's what I love from the fandom.
I would like to ask, was the question about the fandom in general, or was it about the music side of the fandom?
Oh, well, MLP, music and fandom.
Well, yeah.
What do you like?
For me, it was like in school I always made music that wasn't MLP related because people knew my YouTube channel, and I was always really scared that they will like make fun of me or something. But then one day I was like, hey, I will just make pony songs, and I don't care what other people think. And in my opinion, it's like the only logical option for me because I like music, I like ponies. Why not combine them? And it's kind of hard for dance music because you can't really make anything big emotional like you can do with like metal or something. But I still try to get in some episode vocals, or like I'm also in the future gonna try to incorporate some original vocals, but yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, for me, pretty much, I started to get more inspired around 2013 and 2014 when I really started to like music. Then I discovered artists early, like for Forever Free, what they say also Wooden Toaster, Black Griffin, and so many other. Pretty much every musician I got to meet, every musician played a part in it, and that made me inspire to make music. Yeah, even you guys.
Yeah, what I do like about MLP, well, for me it started with watching internet memes. I'm very YouTube poop addicted. I still am, but it was at a time that MLP was actually Generation 4 just came out and it was trending and it was literally used everywhere. That's what got me into MLP, and that way it looked very interesting. So I started, I think it was looking to MLP in real life videos that really, there was one video, I don't know if you guys know My Little Dashie by Storm XF3. That was a very emotional touch to my brains, and that's when I realized, okay, I do love MLP. What got me into the music scene of MLP, I think it was Join the Herd that actually got me into it. And from him on, I started actually discovering most of the classic names in the MLP music scene, and it really started to build up from there. But yeah, what I do love about MLP, it has catchy songs, the story is good, the characters are funny, and then the fandom, I mean, all of you, really nice people. This is really a place where you can feel comfortable with. So yeah, that's sort of what I like about MLP and the music scene. Okay, now we get a bit more to the, what kind of question should I name them? About music that you actually have worked on in like the years. And my first question is, and it can be a simple answer or just maybe a bit more explanation. What's your favorite project you've worked on so far?
That's a hard one. I've done lots of projects over the years that I'm really proud of. One I've done recently is Don't Hold Me Back Now, which was actually in the works since at least 2018. I finally put it out in July of this year. And another one I really enjoyed doing. This song is not out yet, but it's a song that I was commissioned to do, and it features Frozen Knight, who, if you don't know, is an orchestral / metal musician in the fandom, and he did an amazing job with it. The song is called Endless Night, and I'm expecting to release it next month.
Fancy. My favorite project that I was part of was easily the Solidarity map. All the animators, like over 100 animators, took part, and it's also my favorite song I ever wrote, and it's a message about the fandom, and people seem to like it. And yeah, I love taking part, and I love the result. Thanks.
There is no favorite project when you don't do music, like when you don't work on music. Like I said, I just play an instrument in a band, so pretty anticlimactic, I know.
Yep. Oh boy, here we go. Well, the thing is, regarding fan projects for other people, if it has ponies in it, I don't care what the story, I don't care who and how, I got you covered. I'm with you. I love it. You know, like it's just like I said, the creativity really speaks to me. You know, but if I have to talk about my own favorite project, it has to be. The thing is, like, I'm the director of a story called "You Got Me, I Got Us." It's like a. No, I'm not. I'm not going to show my fanfic diagram. Don't worry. But it's a project that with which the voice acting community and the music community can get together. You know, think of it as like a cinema, but without the screen. You hear everything and you experience it. Through the speakers. Think of it like that. And that project, with that you can like support. We support veterans and sick children. Like me. Who have a chronic disease. And you know, it feels good to be the person I needed the most for the one who needs a person right now. You know, so that has to be my favorite project, and I want to. Massive shout out to everyone who works along with those projects, you know, and I look forward to working with you all in the future. That's yeah.
For me, it might be One Small Thing. My song One Small Thing with MC Arch, Koa, and Drummer Shy. To explain, I did that song a while ago and went to a gentleman's place to mix it and mastering it. And I needed vocals and at least vocals for the song. And I thought Koa was a good fit because she have a good voice and she would fit perfectly the track. And then after that, I was like, actually, I want to make that song representing my feelings to the fandom. And the thing is exactly what Pinky said in the song, One Small Thing. Like, one small thing can make something bigger. Like, with a tiny thing, you can make bigger thing. And after that, I needed to, like, get two people in the track. I needed to get them because I thought they were, like, super wise. And I got MC Arch because he's just amazing, and he could rap, because I needed someone who can rap without drums, like with just a piano. And Arch is like rapping, and he's giving the rhythm every time, and you don't need drums. You still bouncing, head banging.
Literally.
Yeah, yeah. And there's no drums. He is the drums with his vocals. And after that, you have just a wonderful drum solo from Drummer Shy, who's my favorite drummer in the fandom since I'm a drummer too. And yeah, just that track represents my feelings for the fandom. And recently, for next Ponies at Dawn, which come November, beginning November.
6th of November.
6th of November, I have a track called Everlast with Scooney, who's rapping on it. And I made that song in the train, going to Everfree Encore. And it represents, like, the feelings I had from the floods in Belgium, because I got heavily touched by that. And realized a lot of stuff. I'm going to not talk about it, but whatever. And then go to Everfree Encore. It just changed my mood and feeling better and everything. Just everything is explained in the song by Scooney, and that might be my other favorite project.
My favorite projects might be probably my remixes. First off, my Best of Friends remix by Faulty and John Kenza. Because it was really easy to work with. Like, the melody was already pretty happy, pretty bouncy, and I kind of had an idea what I wanted to do with it. And then I just made it, and it all worked out really well, and I had no problems with it. And the Anthropology remix was pretty much the same. I had an idea, I wrote down the idea, and it worked, and it went really well. For my personal projects, it's usually harder because stuff doesn't always work out, and yeah, if it doesn't work out and you have to submit something for a deadline, like I set myself, like I have the mindset that I always want to submit or try to submit to albums, and if there's a deadline, it's always sometimes really hard to come up with stuff, but it's much easier for remixes. So yeah, that's why those are my favorites.
Yeah, I do have actually a favorite project, but that one is actually still in the making, if you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
Yeah. Can
What?
Can I tell them?
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. Well, since last year, pretty much, me and Sam have been working on our very first album, actually, called Untold Stories, that hasn't been released yet, but it's still in the making. Pretty much everything is almost done. We still got a few tweaks we have to take care of, but we hope to release it next year. But it has been one of my favorite projects all the time. Got to work in different styles of music, working on lyrics also, topping a lot, and yeah, and I hope it will be a success and can't wait for it.
Ooh, ooh. My favorite project so far is currently an unreleased project, which I hope to release very soon. It's a sort of dubstep track that is inspired by one of the artists that inspires me today. It's non-pony, actually, but it's a dubstep track with a sort of chimey sounds in it, which sort of says that it's actually a track based on an artist called Chime, who makes dubstep music with a sort of gamey style in it. The previous favorite project used to be Mashed, which I think I mentioned in the last music panel, but it got overtaken by the unreleased project, actually, because it doesn't happen too much now that I'm actually proud of the stuff I'm making. I'm really critical about myself. But this track was actually a very good result of the kind of music I make today, and I've got plenty more new projects which I will hope to release very soon under my new alias Fandict, because it has been a big mess with me being Sam Craig Brody and making like a ton of different things. But I hope to release that favorite project very soon. Jeez, I lost the questions again. Okay, so the favorite project. I also am wondering, has there been in your musical career, I'm not sure if I should call it a career, but I think I'll do. Is there a memorable moment throughout your Brony music career that you are most proud of, or what do you?
I've got a few myself. Like, for example, the first time I ever got to perform live, which was in America at the Mayhem show, the very first one, I played guitar alongside Metalcore Pony. The first two songs were actually two of my own tracks, and then we went right into his tracks right after that. It's the first time I ever performed live in front of an audience, and I don't think I'll ever forget it. And of course, the other experiences are just working with the coolest people in the fandom and continuing to perform. Like, the fact that I get to still do this is great, honestly.
My favorite moment, I guess, is actually the same show. For that Mayhem show we mentioned, I was the co-organizer for that, and I expected it was like a small bar was our venue, and I thought we might get 30, 50 people maybe, but we completely packed the place out. The whole venue itself was full. All around the outside patio was full. Everyone had a good time. The acts were great, and it was, I've never done something like that, and it was just completely successful, and it made me feel great. Plus, I got to play a show, and that was also pretty fun.
My favorite moment probably was when someone suggested out of fun that I could play bass at every encore. And then I played, and it worked out pretty well. It would be the musical part. Favorite moment in the fandom would be the first time standing in front of 1,000 people at Galacon, but that is neither here nor there.
I guess. Well, I have to say, like, there are a lot of amazing moments, with all of you people. I don't want to exclude people, but just know that I think of you, I see you all. But one of my personal favorite moments, well, to keep a long story short, I also sing, and also, but I'm the head of a Brony hip hop organization called Straight from the Heart that was founded in like 2017. I won't even hide it, bro. I made it out of desperation just because I wanted to. Because the thing is, hip-hop kind of has an image, and I understand that, I don't blame it at all, I completely understand. But I wanted to break that image to show, like, hey, hip-hop is more than just yo, and all that stuff. And I got love for it, for the record, so I'm from that place too, so I get it. The thing, however, is, like, at HarmonyCon 2019, Straight from the Heart had its very first live performance as a group. And the fact that, like, it's pretty much the same story like Prince, like, the entire room was packed. Everybody was hyped, and to see so many people feel love for that kind of music, and just go wild with us, and it was wonderful. It really was. That's one of my personal favorite moments. That's yeah.
Can I get that mic, because this one is battery low?
Oh.
I'd say yesterday.
I think it's muted.
My bad. I'd say yesterday, because I had to cancel my set, but whatever. The other one would be the first time I performed in real life at Everfree Encore this year, which was like, thanks to Deus and AJ too. I could perform for the first time, realizing one of my biggest dream ever, and it was great.
I have multiple, I'd say. The first one is my first track that got accepted to Ponies at Dawn, which was Updraft. I was really excited when that got accepted. And the second one is when I played LunaFest 2019. That was my first real life set. And my leg died during that set, and I still continued to play, and no one noticed, so I guess it worked out. And the third one, what was the third one? I don't remember. I had it in my head just a second ago, but I don't remember. Whatever. Go on.
Okay. Yeah, my favorite performance was pretty much actually that my dream had actually always been to perform actually at BronyCon, the largest convention there was. But yeah, I finally got the chance to do that in 2019, thanks to my friend John Kenza. Actually, for me, was like, oh, should be fine. Actually, was nervous as ever. Got cold feet pretty much, to be honest. Like there were thousands and thousands of people. It was the biggest crowd I ever performed for just one song, but it was still a big honor to do so. So I just slapped myself times, ice bucket challenge water over my face, and just go for it, pretty much. But yeah, that was one of my favorite performances of all time. I will never forget that adrenaline and experience from it.
Really quick, I remembered my third proudest moment was when Geek Brony played my last Tempest remix at BronyCon. I was like really blown away that my music was played on such a big stage, and it was a great moment for me.
Well, my favorite moment used to be the HouseWarming-Con 2018 performance of mine, because it was my very first performance, actual performance, then at a Brony convention. I didn't really had a big crowd though. In 2020 it went a bit better, but it wasn't. I didn't actually have the feeling that I was able to get the enthusiasm out of everyone. Yesterday, however, and that is now my favorite moment in my musical career thing. It was my first time actually DJing, because I had been I'm just going to be honest, sort of faking it in 2018. But this time I was actually mixing, and it actually went quite well, and I was actually able to have a sort of happy crowd. And I got a lot of compliments from a lot of people, a few people. So yeah, the performance yesterday is my favorite moment, but also because of the fact that these people, the lineup was just absolutely amazing. This is like the best lineup I've ever been part of, really. So thank you guys for that. Okay, now we get to the final question on my list, and then I think if there's anyone with a question here, then they can go and ask him, I think, right here. But my final question to everyone here is there a tip, or are there multiple tips that you would like to give to people who want to start making music?
I've got a couple. First one, practice. Practice as much as you can. And second, it's never too late to start. Absolutely never too late to start. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Chris Adler, the former drummer of Lamb of God, one of metal's most iconic drummers today. And he didn't start playing until he was 21 years old, and he is fantastic. So it's possible for anyone to start at any age.
Jeez. Well, my main focus of my stuff has mostly been singing, because I find like guitar was kind of easy enough. I've been playing that for a long time, but singing is kind of something you have to, how would you say, you have to have some talent with it, otherwise, because you can get better, but you can't, if you always suck, then you can get a bit better, but if you have some talent, the point I'm making is there's some techniques you need to observe. You need to practice loud, project your voice, use your diaphragm, drink water, but don't chug lots, drink little bits, because you don't want to fill your stomach. You want to keep your vocal cords nice and wet, basically. That's my advice, my best advice I can give.
I want to elaborate more on this. It's never too late to start. I started with playing bass when I was 29. I never had any musical stuff going on for my life. And now I'm sitting here playing with people, playing in bands, because I was just like, yeah, I want to do this, and that was my goal. And it's I think the best encouragement that you can give when you are like an example for it's never too late to start. Plus, try to always keep in mind what you have achieved already instead of always looking in the future to all the things you can't do yet.
Some of my piece of advice to you would be. Oh, there you go. Yeah. My piece of advice to you will be, and let you take it. Like for, well, look. To the ones who also want to make it on the stage one day, I know, and I've been where you've been. I know what it's like, that struggle of wanting it, like you want to prove yourself, show that you're out there, and do it for those around you. I just want you to know that just because you haven't figured it out yet doesn't mean that you never will. And the day will come that you'll be on here too. I see you, man. Don't give up. And that's why I want to tell you as well, never let yourself be like negatively judged by other people when you know what you're doing. Right? Keep that close. And to reiterate Blackhead's point on how important practice is, I'm just going to tell you right now, homie. I started skateboarding at 26, aka 3 months ago. I'm very close to learning my first ollie. That's, yeah. Anyone can do it, bro. Anyone can do it, yeah. It's, there are people at like age 30 or something who have like there's this image like you have in your early 20s you have to like everything figured out. I don't believe in that, bro. Like if I know people at 28, like who still live with their parents, but they already got everything. They got like a driver license, everything. Take your time, bro. It's all good. You're not owed to prove anything to anyone, bro. Just do your own thing and it's okay. It's all good. You got this. I believe in you. I do. Yeah. I love you.
I have nothing to say now. 'Cause they said everything. The only thing I could add is just if you start working on electronic music, just do something, then save it, then never delete what you've done. Just keep it, and maybe you'll start working on it again. And that's what I do. Like I still found files from 2018 and make something new out of what I've made before, and just always keep your saves. Yeah, that's it.
I guess my number one tip would be to ask other musicians for feedback. There are, especially if you're in the pony fandom, and I think even in non-pony production, there are a lot of feedback places. For example, for Pony, it would be the Ponies at Dawn server, Equinity server, probably also ASOS server. I'm not on that server, but yeah, in their Discord servers, you can always ask for feedback. And they will usually give you very constructive feedback. That's what helped me get better. So yeah, that's my number one tip.
I want to add, if anyone want to like send feedbacks, I'm up. I always have time to have. I do nothing ever, so just send me things and I can give you feedbacks.
Yeah, me too.
I have a mic. But yeah, for me it's pretty much, I don't make music myself, but what I can do, tip, if you want to do something with singing, keep drinking water. Water is always to keep your throat not dry. Keep watering, or else you will just mess up with your voice. Pretty much.
I had a story, but I forgot it. Awesome. No, I remember. The number one tip I would give people is, if you love making music, absolutely do it, but don't actually force yourself to keep working on a project if you feel like it's not working at the moment. Just put it aside and just work on it later on, because what I told is that I'm really critical about myself, so I'm actually want to make a good project this instant. If it's not working at that moment, just save it and leave it for later. That's just a sort of thing that 12 said. Is when you're working on a project and it's not working, just leave it, and maybe later you can take a look at it, and then you have like the best idea ever. So that's probably my tip. And now I ran out of questions, but I'm not sure if there's anyone in the crowd. It's not many people, but if there's anyone in the crowd who has a question for us, maybe you can walk to this mic. Hey Chris, I thought you had questions.
Okay.
We got one taker so far.
Oh, don't worry. I think it is.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've maybe one question as a musician myself. How do you stay inspired?
I got this. I try and look for any kind of inspiration from any kind of genre. If you feel stale, look to places you wouldn't normally look at. Like sometimes I take inspiration from stuff like jazz and funk if I'm up for it.
I get it.
It keeps my music fresh and keeps it interesting.
In terms of inspired to do MLP specific content, rewatching episodes definitely helps. We've been rewatching the whole of Gen 4 in my server recently, and there's so many things I kind of forgot happened that would be really inspire me to write music about them. And it's really like cool, emotional things I forgot even happened in the show. So if that's the kind of thing you want to think about, like MLP stuff specifically, definitely rewatch things you haven't seen in a while. It will definitely help you.
Oh, here we go. So, inspiration for making music, right?
Yes.
Okay, do you have a favorite pony?
Sorry?
Do you have a favorite pony?
Favorite pony?
Oh, if I have a favorite pony?
Yeah.
Yes. I named myself Acid Applejack, but my favorite pony is Rainbow Dash.
Hey, my
You're
guy.
my bro.
Well, look, that's awesome, bro. Like, look, my favorite pony is Fluttershy, all right?
Yeah,
I don't
I
make
know
much
that.
Fluttershy songs, but the ones I do, they are my best, you know? And like, what matters to me, like, passion, you know? Keep holding on to the passion. Like, remember why you do this, and and just know that like you can go any route with it, man. There is no limit to passion. Keep watching episodes and stuff, you know, and you know what? Try to mix things with, you know, wouldn't it be like, for example, wouldn't it be cool like ponies in Metal Gear Solid? You know, that would be epic, wouldn't it? So just mix that, bro. That would be fun, wouldn't it? Or stuff like Attack on Titan in Yakistan, you know, with all the yaks. Wouldn't that be epic? Something like that, you know?
Something like that.
Yeah, so just go wild, bro. Go wild.
Imagine Rainbow Dash on a Frenchcore song. Something
exactly.
like that.
May I give you 3 ideas from that, bro? Consider Rainbow Dash and the Wonderbolts doing a collab with the Blue Thunders. Consider that. Yeah, with the planes and stuff, you know, that's
Yes.
consider that, yeah.
Like for inspiration, maybe I could say it's also a tip for making music.
Yes.
Just listen to a track you like
Yes.
and you want to reproduce, and you just put it in your DAW and try to have the same structure. Like try to reproduce it with keeping it your chords, your melody, but try to make something same, like the same, without being the same. And after you can like change stuff, tweak it and stuff. But
I can understand that.
yeah, just listen to stuff you like. That's where I get my inspiration from. Other pony people.
Yeah, for me I listen to a lot of Future Bounce. Yes, Dirty Palm. Dirty Palm was my biggest inspiration. I really like his sound. But yeah, more recently also other artists because I started actually organizing my Spotify playlists now. So I listened to a lot of Future Bounce and also a lot of bass house recently. So this really got me inspired to make bass house maybe now. Every time I listen to something new, I get new ideas, and I try to incorporate those ideas into my tracks. So, yeah, basically listening to more music.
And keep the mic. And he did it again, guys. That's 5 times in a row. New record. But yeah, what makes me keep me inspired is basically most people enjoy long walks, like nature walks or on the beach. For me, that's sometimes what I do. I'm mostly a nature guy myself. Mostly I take long walks in the woods or on the park just to clear my head a little. Sometimes I just hum myself a song in my head, and sometimes it comes a little melody, becomes even more enriching, and sometimes that gave me an idea. I'm like, hey, maybe I can work something like that. So long walk can really help sometimes clear your mind and gives you a better picture how you want to make a song.
I get it.
How I get inspired for musical projects, it's mostly it's different for everyone else. But for me, it's always happening on the wrong moments. Not when I'm sitting behind the computer and I want to make something. It's always I'm either watching or listening music on YouTube or watching live performances. But it's always happening during a live performance or when I'm in the metro on my way to school. True, yeah. When you already shut down the computer and then like, oh, I had an idea.
Yeah, happens to me as well.
Yeah, but yeah, inspired. I listen to music most of the times when I'm not in front of a computer screen. It's mostly me listening to it when I'm driving or in the metro on my way to school. But it's always happening on the wrong moments because I've got an idea when I'm in the metro and when I'm back home in front of my computer. Sometimes it's gone.
Okay.
But yeah, just listen to my favorite. I'm just listening to my favorite artists a lot, and that's what gives me inspiration for my tracks mostly.
Okay, I get it.
Okay, so thank you for your question.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah. So I've got a question. How do you go about the process where you get the music from your head into your DAW? How do you go about that?
Well, I usually write music with a guitar as opposed to a DAW most of the time. Usually I just think of a riff, and if I'm near a computer, then I'll just plug my guitar into the computer, write it down. Maybe I'll use it in a future project. Sometimes that happens, and it works great.
And then you build around that
build
initial
around it.
recording?
I usually just build a song from scratch. Sometimes I start with guitars, sometimes I start with bass. It depends on what the song calls for, really.
Sorry, what was the question? I didn't get to hear you.
So I ask, how do you go about getting the music, your original music, from out of your head into your DAW or whatever you use?
Yes, much like, because we do the same kind of genre, it's much similar. Like, I'll start with guitar usually, because I think, I won't talk about that, it's a tangent. But yeah, guitar first, because that gives you a melody, and then sometimes by itself it can sound kind of weak and it won't really inspire you, but I'll do basic chords with the guitar, and then I'll add lead on top, because that really adds something more characteristic to it, and then drums, and then just do that for the whole song. I'll usually do it lots of pieces, like, okay, first I'll write the chorus, because the chorus, in my opinion, always has to be the best part of the song. It's like the big chorus of the song. So I'll do that first, and then I'll write like post-chorus, pre-chorus, a verse, an interlude, and then kind of play Tetris with all the pieces to make it fit into one whole song. And then, yeah, from there, then you do little extra bits, write your lyrics, and finish up the song, yeah.
None.
All right, so the question is, I'm sorry, what was the question again? Like, what was the? Yeah, I know the question, but like the specifics, like.
The specific is like you have the music in your head. You're like, oh, really? You build something, and then you're trying to get it onto your computer, into your DAW, and most of the time, or for me at least, it does not work. It's like it doesn't sound the way it's in your head, and that's to me a really big obstacle. How do you go about that?
I got you. Okay. I can tell you right now, sometimes when I listen to a specific song and I think like I hear a specific sound, right? And it just sounds so pure and beautiful. I'm like, yes, I want to create that, but I don't know how to do it. This may sound really, really strange what I'm about to say. I'm not just going to tell you to go with the flow, go with the emotion, go with the impact of it, right? And use that to your advantage. That's what I mean to say with that is like, for example, like every time that I write my bars, like lyrics, and there's like specific way. Like it's funny because sometimes when I think of like I'm gonna do this very calmly and such, but that if it comes out like more raw, like more little bits, do more that's actually a good thing because with that showcases more, use it to your advantage. That sounds more realistic, and more like you want to be out there, you want to let yourself be heard. You know what I'm trying to say? Like.
Yeah, a bit.
Okay.
A bit abstract, but.
Yeah. So yeah, if I were you, and if you want to go for that perfect sound, and for the record, I don't know if you're if you have a Discord or anything, but like there are many, like Pony Sedan has one, like State of Sugar has one, Vibe Ponies, Equinity. There are like feedback channels where you can just post your current work in progress track, and you be like, hey, I could use some feedback, and people will gladly tell you like, yeah, you can adjust this, you can adjust that, So if I were you, I'd do that as well. Go to those channels and just be like, hey, well, shut up, and for free to ask for feedback, man. It's always that's what I always did. That's yep.
So to put my IDs from my head to my DAW, I just like, since I'm a drummer, I use that as a start. Like I make it just, I'm thinking like, do I do, what genre do I do first? Because I need to know that first. If I'm making like hip hop, for example, I'm just gonna make a classic hip hop beat with like not even the good samples, just a beat, and then I'm trying to think about a melody or chords and try to reproduce it on my piano, and that go instantly into my DAW. Or just think about the melody, have the piano roll, and just writing it with my mouse. It's just you if you have an idea, just write it down. That's the best I can tell. And like, if you have something, just ask for feedbacks. It's always the good question. I'm not talking well. The good thing, good solution. Yeah.
For me, when I have an idea, it's usually a melody and not chords, because I'm not good with chords. And if I have an idea for a melody, I hum it into my microphone, and then I drag it into a program that analyzes the audio and converts it to MIDI. And it's not perfect MIDI, but from there I know which notes I should play, because I'm also not good with notes from like guessing the notes from my head.
What's the name of the plugin? Yeah, I need that.
New Tone.
Oh, okay.
I think it comes with a file. Yeah. So yeah, I load it into New Tone, and then this gives me the melody. And if I don't have an idea, then I just put down notes randomly, and I try things until something works. And if it doesn't work, then I close the program and don't work on it for like a week, and then maybe come back. So yeah, that's how I usually do it.
Okay, yeah, for me it's pretty much, I don't make music myself, but with the help of my friends, I'm making the song. What I pretty much, if I have a melody in my head, I'm asking sometimes my friend here, Sam, also, if he can help me to get the melody, because it's much more easier when you work with multiple people together, actually. How you want the melody, like, all right, can you give me a key higher, or can you put a violin, but with a few notes higher of that? That gives you a more clear image how you exactly want the melody of the song of that. And we've been doing that almost for a while now, and it's actually a good tactic and pretty much works pretty well, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly what Agaton is explaining. For me it's a bit different, but if me and Agaton are working on something together, it's always us humming sort of the chords, and then it's me putting the chords into the DAW. And then we usually use string instruments, because we mostly make orchestral music. I do the same thing when I got an idea in my head, just like Black Ice music. I like to hum it and then actually draw the chords. Sometimes I start with melodies, but it's mostly chords because they feel more easy to remember. So, and again, the idea you have in your head it's always worse when you put it on paper or computer. That's always been the case, not just with music, with animation, everything. So that's a thing. But if I do it properly, it's always while drawing the chords in the piano roll. That's what I do.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you all for your insights.
Okay. No problem. I just had been notified a few minutes ago that we had to sort of cut off for now because we need to prepare for the next panel, the charity auction, and we were already sort of running out of time.
Yeah, but we want to thank everyone who came out at our music panel, so thank you all so much, and we hope to see you around here.
12 wants to say something real quick.
Yeah, if I can say something quick, I'll just do my shameless promotion. Since I couldn't perform, I would like a lot if you could like buy my CDs. Sadly, I don't have any here, but I'm gonna do a big promo on Bandcamp, so you can get my albums and stuff for like €10. And yeah, thanks.
All right, but we want to. We want to thank you all so much for being here. Thank so much to all these amazing musicians for getting us the great music this weekend and answering the questions. And yeah, I hope you will have a fun charity auction and closing ceremony soon. So, see you guys there. Thank you.
And make some noise for Sam.
Organizer.
Oh God.